Hey everyone, Ace here. As my YouTube banner suggests, I am currently middle class and going to be a millionaire, so I'm going to outline to you how I have over a 200K net worth at the age of 28 on an average salary of $37,000. I'm going to start this story off when I was just a wee little lad. No, I'm joking. I'm not going to do that. But when I was younger, I used to stockpile cash everywhere. I'd put it in my sock drawer, I'd put it in a plastic milk jug in my closet, and I would try to save as much money as possible. So then when my parents would go to the bank, I could take that money with me and deposit it into my bank account. What I'm really trying to say is my saving mentality started when I was younger. This story really starts when I was 18 years old. When I was 18 years old, my parents made me open a Roth IRA. And if you don't know what a Roth IRA is, well, it's a retirement account that you put after-tax money into up to about $6,000 a year currently. So I've been investing in my Roth IRA since I was 18 years old and practically maxing it out for at least the last 5 years. Starting off with my college years, I went to college at the University of Wisconsin Platteville. That's about an hour away from Madison, Wisconsin. That's the capital of Wisconsin, if you didn't know. I got a degree in business administration with a minor in marketing and advertising techniques. And the biggest thing financially I have gotten from college is that I was able to graduate with no college debt. And I recognize how important that is to my financial success, not having to pay any student loans whatsoever. I ended up graduating college in 2014. It took a couple months after I graduated for me to land a job, but the first job I landed, I was a brand ambassador for Under Armour. This job was a part-time job where I covered a couple of retail stores for Under Armour, checking things like how are their sales, how is the merchandise, and then educating some of the store associates on why Under Armour was such a good brand. I was making $15 an hour, working about 20 to 25 hours a week, depending on the week. And I did this for the back half of 2014, from August until December. At the end of 2014, when I was doing my taxes, I had grossed about $15,000 from the part-time job I was working at Under Armour. At the start of 2015, I had done such a great job in the first couple months I was with Under Armour that they decided to give me a promotion, which I gladly took. This bumped my pay up from $15 an hour to $17.50 an hour. Woo! Climbing that corporate ladder. Not really. But they did move me from the Chicago area up to the Madison, Wisconsin area with that pay bump, which was fantastic. Along with that pay bump, I ended up getting a $3,000 relocation bonus, which I used to pay off my used car. Paying off my used car was a fantastic help for me to save money and continue to add to my net worth. Not having a car payment every single month is a huge financial benefit to have when you're trying to accumulate wealth. So I kept working hard, doing the brand ambassador thing for Under Armour in the Madison, Wisconsin territory, covering a couple of stores, making that $17.50 an hour, and at the end of 2015, when I was doing my taxes, I made $37,000. Which, when you're only a year out from college, $37,000 is a pretty good salary. I was very excited and very happy to make that. But I always wanted to make more. At the start of 2016, I kept working my butt off for Under Armour, kept covering those stores, doing whatever I could. And after a while, I got tired of the retail grind, always being on my feet, traveling from store to store, talking to associates and customers. I decided it was time for me to get a new job. So I ended up landing a job as an assistant merchant at another apparel company just slightly outside of Madison. After going through the interview process and luckily getting a job offer, I was able to negotiate a starting salary of $45,000, which was a huge increase for me personally, going from $17.50 an hour to an actual salary of $45,000. I was stoked. As an assistant merchant, what I did was covered the product lines on the men's side for swimwear and cold weather accessories. Real high level, what I did was I decided what new products I wanted to launch, what products lived, and what products I killed. I know that's a very oversimplification of my job and what I did, but I don't want to have to bore you with the details. I started my new job in July of 2016, and at the end of 2016, when I was doing my taxes, I ended up making $43,000 this year. That was the most I had ever made. To note, while I was working for Under Armour, I was putting away for my 401k continually and paying off my car that I bought earlier that year so I could have no debts whatsoever. And then when I got my new job in 2016, I continued to put away in my 401k and save as much as possible since I had no debts whatsoever. Also in 2016, with my new job and my new pay increase, I decided I am tired of paying rent to other people. It's time for me to find a house for myself. So that's what I did. I did a lot of research, got a realtor, walked a lot of homes, and I ended up finding a condo that I absolutely fell in love with. I purchased this condo for $155,000, and since I was a first-time home buyer, I had to put $0 down, which was fantastic because I did save up roughly 5% to put down for a down payment, but I didn't have to put any of that down whatsoever, which helped me financially in the long run. I put that money towards some other things, some upgrades into the condo that I bought, and I invested a little bit of it. 2017 was just a normal working year for me. I did as much as I possibly could at work, worked my hardest, and at the end of the year, I got a little bit of a bonus. So when I was doing my taxes, my take home was $47,000. If you haven't caught on to the trend yet, I have made more money every single year since I've started working, which has significantly helped me in my accumulation of my $200,000 net worth. So we glossed over 2017, easy working year for me, and let's talk about 2018. In 2018, the year started off just like any other year. I just kept working my butt off, trying to do the best that I could to climb that corporate ladder. Well, lo and behold, I got a rock thrown at my face, and in August of 2018, I lost my job, and I had become unemployed due to corporate restructuring. I was unemployed at 26 years old in the beginning of August in 2018, and I had lost myself. But that's okay because by November, I got a new job in the greater Chicago area as a product manager. And you know the great thing about Chicago? It's a higher cost of living. And you know what that means? Higher salaries. I ended up negotiating a salary of $65,000. I was stoked. So I left Wisconsin and I moved to Chicago. At the end of 2018, with my short stint of unemployment and 2 months of my higher negotiated salary, I ended up making $53,000 that year. I was ecstatic when I filled out my taxes and figured out how much I made the previous year. Overall, 2018 was a really good year for me. I took my starting salary at my old job from $45,000 to at my new job as a product manager at $65,000 in Chicago. Yes, there was a cost of living increase, but overall a $20,000 salary increase was huge for me. Little did I know 2019 was going to come and slap me in the face just as bad as 2020 has this year due to coronavirus and everything else that's gone on. So let's talk about 2019. At the beginning of 2019, I was informed as a product manager working in Chicago that my company was getting bought out. So, next thing you know, I'm thinking, well, I just got laid off and the possibility of me getting laid off again is probably pretty high. And I started to look for a new job. As upper rungs in the company, you know, the VPs, the directors, they were starting to get let go one after the other. I was able to find a new job as a trade marketing manager back in Madison, Wisconsin. So I took my short stint in Chicago and I moved my happy butt back to Madison. As a trade marketing manager, I ended up negotiating a salary for $70,000. Yet again, another salary increase for me. And I had only worked my previous job for 5.5 months. $5,000 for 5.5 months of work. I was super happy with that pay increase. In 2019, when I got my job as the trade marketing manager and I came back to Madison, my fiance and I decided it was time to sell the condo that she was living at, that I owned, and buy a house together. I bought the condo originally for $155,000, and when I put it on the market and finally sold it, I sold it for $205,000. After all of the closing costs and realtor fees were paid, I ended up making $32,000 on the sale of that condo. I took $20,000 of that and I put it into this new home that we have, And the other $12,000 remainder I used for some personal purchases, and I invested a little bit of it. So there I was, 2019, just about 3 months in, working as a trade marketing manager after I had just left my previous job. And the company informed all of us again that, hey, we're gonna get bought out. And next thing you know, oh man, I just got slapped in the face again. I thought, geez, I just can't avoid this stuff. I'd been laid off once before, and then the last company that I was at got bought out, and I was probably gonna get laid off there, so I left. And here I am with this company. They got bought out again. Well, I decided to just hold on to the reins as hard as possible, and I would fight through this. Well, no matter how hard I tried, I tried to hold on to those reins and keep that job to the best of my ability. It didn't matter. Come July in 2019, I was let go along with probably about 50% of the office I was working with. And I was unemployed from the end of July all the way to the end of the year in 2019. While I was doing my taxes in 2019, I had made, drumroll, a whopping $33,000 that year. Bringing these 6 years of working from halfway in 2014 to the end of 2019, I had made an average salary of $37,000. The peak I made was $53,000. Now, I'm guessing you're wondering, how does he have a $200K net worth if he's only made $37,000 on average? Well, let me outline all of my accounts to show you how I have over $200,000 net worth. Starting with my Vanguard account. My Vanguard account has $87,500 in it. This is composed of two different amounts. Roughly $60,000 from my Roth IRA and another $20-something thousand from an old 401k that I have sitting in there. My next account is my Robinhood account. I consider this my long-term investing, dividend portfolio, and play around with money. I have $47,000 in my Robinhood account today. Next is my American Centuries investment fund. This has roughly $19,000 in it. It was a trust fund set up by my parents back when I was about 2 years old. They put $2,000 in it and they've let it ride ever since. Haven't touched it yet. Next is my Fidelity 401k with my current employer. That has $8,200 in it right now. I have $7,000 in my Ally bank account, which right now currently stands as my emergency fund money. So if I ever need to have quick access to money, it's sitting on the sidelines for me so I can just pull it out and use it right then and there. Currently in my checking fund, I have $5,500 sitting in there right now. Yes, I know that's probably a little bit more than I should have in there right now, but I'm trying to stockpile a little bit of cash as my fiance and I do have a wedding coming up and there are some expenses I'm gonna have to pay off in the next month or two. I currently have a very small portfolio of cryptocurrencies as I don't know what's gonna happen with them, but I decided might as well just invest in them and kind of see what happens. So currently in my cryptocurrency portfolio, I have $3,600. Lastly is my home equity. Yes, having a mortgage can be considered debt, but it's a good debt because as you're paying your mortgage, you are gaining equity in your house. My fiance and I bought this house for $325,000. We put $20,000 down, and it just recently appraised for $343,000. Now I'm gonna say my equity portion in this home is roughly $30,000. So if you add up all of the amounts I previously gave you, that brings my net worth to over $200,000 at the age of 28. If you like this video, just tap that thumbs up button for me and leave me a comment down below on what your net worth is. Subscribe for more content, and until then, I'll see you in the next video.